Hi, my name is Boyd Duncan, and this is Boyd Star & Co. Today I would like to start off by talking about this rare genetic disorder called Williams syndrome. To put in more context, my beautiful girlfriend has such conditions. Sad thought is that maybe I've been too scared to search up what it means or what it is, but it's something that it's something that needs to be talked about. It affects many parts of the body. Right? It has a distinctive facial feature and also distinctive facial features. Individuals have outgoing and engaging personalities, and within my experience, my missus, my girlfriend, she pretty much is, what you call, an outgoing and engaging individual, and also have extreme interest in people, psychologically, intellectually. Like, to me, when I see, that's why I feel my missus went too quickly down to this relationship. I was just going too fast for me and her, but we worked it out. We talked and worked it out. So it's something that I'm realizing now as I learn such information. Yep. They also have a problem with anxiety and phobias. Now, there was a time before I was with my missus. She was very anxious to be around just groups of people. Just groups and groups of people. It's just it was just the anxiety was too much for her. I don't know about any phobias she may have, but we all have phobias, so that's no different. It's dangerous if it's untreated, right? Shortness of breath, chest pain, and even heart failure, heart attack. Because the way I understand is that I don't know the scientific term or medical term, but the closing of the veins and the vessels, closing of the veins, cause problem. Get a clog in your neck into your brain. You get a stroke. You get a clog in your heart. You get a heart attack. So there is estimated 1 in 7,500 to 10,000 people. Now that's not a lot of people. Out of 6 billion people, 7 billion people, that's not really a lot. Really, think about it. The causes of this Williams syndrome is the depletion of genetic material. In more specific terms, the region of chromosome 7. And you can search this all up on the internet, but I would like to just put it out there for you guys, so you guys understand that. I try to understand as much as I can. She's beautiful, my woman. She's I think it's because of that fact she has it. Not more to the fact that she has it, but the fact is I want to respect and love her. As I said in my last video, all I want to do is try to respect my woman and love her and cherish her as much as I can. Otherwise, it's not going to be a good relationship. It's not going to be a good relationship with a steady foundation. But I want her to be independent, and I mean, what I want doesn't matter in that sense of being responsible and an adult. It's up to her how she wants. I'm only there to help her. I'm only there to protect her. That's my job as a human being and as a man, is to protect my woman. Any means necessary to protect my woman's honor, and it should be with every man. If your woman's not, back to the point. I believe she will outlive me too. I got a feeling. It's about 60 years is average for someone with Williams syndrome, which is like if you think about it, wow, that's better than an Aboriginal status, 20 years, 20 years less, 20 years sooner than average Australians. But yeah, 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 it's great to know to know that she loves me 100%, and only thing I can do is give the same amount of love and affection and what's that word, energy and everything that makes up a good relationship, Yeah, so yeah, that's Williams syndrome. Yeah, okay. Next one I would like to talk about, seeing today, I'll rather concentrate on the Williams syndrome than sports. Next thing I would like to talk about, if we have time, we'll talk about sports. Yeah, politics. Yes, everybody in this country loves politics. Oh yeah, they're pretty much the same. They're all crooked, all backroom deals and all this crap. Yeah, yeah. Now I'm gonna teach you guys. Hope teach maybe sound too directive, but yeah. What is Australian politics? Well, there's four main things that make up our politics in Australia: representative democracy, parliamentary system, constitutional and federal monarchy. Now, when you think of monarchy, what's monarchy? It's what kings and queens use to control. It's not hierarchy. It's monarchy. It's what queens and kings use to in their governing of systems. So basically, if you look at it, we're basically, well, 21st century, but like 18th, 17th century mentality. Like monarchy, there's only one or two monarchies left in the world, and England may be the last one to have it. I forgot the other European country. I think I'm not quite sure. I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, the monarchy. Yeah. See, what that means is the fact that under our Commonwealth law, the Queen pretty much owns Australia, pretty much runs Australia. So you got your Queen's representative, which is the Governor General. Then you got the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. How does it work? As I said before, the Queen is represented by the Governor General, which then pass on the messages to the Prime Minister, then to the Cabinet and to the rest of the lower and upper house. There's two main legislation places, I'd like to call them. You got your upper house, which is your Senate, and your lower house, which is your House of Representatives. Now, in your upper house is where laws are made and fought upon in the Senate. Then it goes down to the lower house. The House of Representatives is where the Prime Minister resigns in the House of Representatives. It is there that the law is accepted or ejected from the lower. You need both lower and upper house to get law and legislation through Parliament. Now, that may sound like a lot of things, but if you ever listen to Politics Question Time on ABC Radio or ABC News, to me, in this Australian society that we live in, all a bunch of jokers in the room, like laugh at silly things that may not be necessarily true, and you have your Prime Minister's cabinet and your opposition leader. You got your leader and your opposition leader. Now, at the time, as I was getting into politics, Bill Shorten of the Labor Party, he got me with a speech after the free trade agreement with China 3 years ago, 3 years ago, and you can look this up, but yeah, it's just the speech he made about Aboriginal people, while when Malcolm Turnbull was boasting about Chinese heritage, and to me it's like, oh my goodness gracious me, was this a political point or was this a bit more? I think it was just a political point, but to me it was like holy shit, like excuse my language, like holy crap, like, wow, really? He done that for us. And Bill Shorten he was a great leader. He was a great leader. Oh, us, he wasn't better than Bob Hawke. I wasn't alive for Bob Hawke, but I'm alive for Bill Shorten, and yeah, he was up there. Yeah, I'd say yeah, like him in the way of politics, in the way of speaking, in the way of telling the leader Malcolm Turnbull at the time, and Scott Morrison, telling them how it is. He was there for 4 terms. He was there for a while, because he was a great leader. Anthony Albanese, give cahoots to him, give him a chance. Bill Shorten left it in a good position for Anthony Albanese, But yeah, coming back to it. Now, there's Governor General is pretty much the highest rank in Australia. It's a representative of the Queen. Now, the Governor General accepts prime ministerships and also accepts the cabinet on which the prime minister wants. It's all done at the governor's house. There's probably a different term, but yeah, I'll just call it Governor General's house. There's other two positions I would like to be in. It's Cauldron of the Black Rod, or user, Usher of the Black Rod, or Sergeant at Arms. To get in more detail about them. These two positions, they're like the fauna and flora of the political landscape. They make up some of what politics is in this country today. No one knows about them. You don't see them on Question Time. You may see the Black Rod, but and the Sergeant at Arms, but yeah, the Cauldron of the Black Rod, the Usher of the Black Rod, is in the Senate, House of Senate, is in the Senate, the upper house. In there, the Black Rod the Black Rod escorts the president. Now, the president is the leader of that. The president is the speaker of the upper house. Alright? That's where the term. So when you think of president, it's not American politics, it's Australian politics. It's the speaker of the house, of the upper house. What's that mean? That means whatever argument both sides of the political both sides of the political parties have, it is sorted out by the speaker. He's like the ref. He's like the umpire, ref of political terms. He's there to keep the order. Now the Black Rod helps him with that order. Cauldron or Usher of the Black Rod. Yeah, he helps. He helps count how many senators are in attendance. He helps keep the peace between keep the peace with senators and the public audience. The audience his Sergeant at Arms is in the lower house. Now, pretty much they're there to record all ministers, MPs, Member of Parliament. They're there to record and they're in the lower house, and the speaker of the lower house, he's just called the speaker, and yeah, And that's where the Prime Minister and the Cabinet sits in the lower house, an opposition leader, Labour. You know, so that's a little bit about the real powers of the political spectrum, the real powers that are to be. Now, when I say real powers, I mean not real powers, you know. Money runs everything. Money makes the world turn, they say. Yeah, so back to it. Yeah, okay. Getting more back into politics. Because actually I'll tell you a bit more history about Australia, because for me under politics it's Australian history. That's to me that's what politics is. So we all know stories of what happened, but do you really know who really discovered Australia? One, it wasn't Captain Cook, right? Comment argue me on this video, but find me on Facebook. But the first European people not to discover. First European people here were Dutch, or literally Dutchmen, Netherlands, people from Netherlands. They were here 10, 20, 30 years before Captain Cook came. On top of that, Captain Cook was not even a captain, you know? I'm not here to disrespect the man that we come to know as a legend, you know, in some circles, the devil and others. But the thing is, we need to speak on truth. We need to speak real history of what really happened, you know? And I'm not even talking about the murders and the massacres. I'm talking about the lies and deception that we have in our educational system, you know, to show misinformation through the curriculum of, for me, Queensland, curriculum of Queensland. You know, when I was a kid at Crescent Lagoon, we would have to get out of class and have a big measuring stick, and we'd measure one side of the building to the other to see how long the Endeavour, Captain Cook's ship, how big it was, you know. And in practical terms, why do we really need to know how big the ship was, you know? Like, what's the education in that? You know, it was a certain amount of height, a certain amount of length, a certain amount of weight, and a certain amount of people couldn't be in there. Yeah, and now that they put up online all the massacre sites that we know of, that was written in history, that was written by murderers, people who were written by the murderers. There was a couple of some woeful stories and woeful conditions people put Indigenous people in, you know. Captain Cook was not even a captain. He had the status of a captain, but he was a rank lower, or he was a rank lower than an actual captain. But he was expected not to be called captain. So yeah, that's where Captain Cook is. And so when he landed in Botany Bay, the whole land was called New Holland. It was called New Holland before it was even called New South Wales, because the Dutch, when the Dutch found to discover it, you can't discover something that's already there. There's people already there, like, yeah. And when he landed in Botany Bay, and he put the flag, and he said this was English land, for the the King of England at the time. The fact is, the whole of east coast of Australia was just called New South Wales. Not the whole country, only east coast of Australia. The rest of the country was called New Holland from the Dutch. Now, it wasn't until 1901 we became federated. We became a federation. That was after we had a war with France. England had war with France, the Boer War. that ended in 1901. It was that year, same year we become a federation. The whole of Australia became New South Wales, or became Australia. Now, it's fair enough. We can't, changing the date won't change the fact. Like, Australians are here now, and I, yeah, but I'm not gonna sit here and let people destroy the rest of whatever remain of my culture, and I'm not gonna let that. I'm not gonna stand by and let that happen. They've already done enough to my cultural land. They have the most poisonous creek in the world, apparently. The most poison. That's why up there in Mount Morgan it's called Poison Creek. It's one of the most poisonous creeks up there in the world because of the mining. Mount Morgan was just one big mountain, and they cut that in half. And they only cut it in half. They didn't take the whole mountain. There's plenty more gold in there. They cut it in half, and they poisoned our water holes. And to me, culturally and as an Aborigine, it gets under my skin that how could they do it to my ancestral land, It's a pride that most Australians would never understand. Because nationalism and all this nationalism it's false pride. It's false. It's not real. It's not real at all. And you can deny me that fact. You can deny me and say to my face, I'm a liar. It's wrong. It's not true. It's misinformation. But how do you feel about it? How do you truly feel about it? Do you have a sense of loss? Do you have a sense of gain? Or do you have a sense of being here in Australia? Because the sense I feel is that Amnesia Day, Australia Day to me is called Amnesia Day, right? Because everybody gets so blasted, they forgot the day, Oh, it's sad, but it's true. More to the point, what we learn in history was just some of the positives. I didn't even learn anything about the massacres that happened here as a young kid. It was only when I looked into a book and saw, you could say I saw violence, saw black fella and white fella fighting each other. Right? And I asked her, what is that? And how kids are smart, kids understand what's going on, kids know. She paused for a second. She paused for like 10 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds. I think because she was reading it and trying to get some information to explain to me. But the fact is, because they were cannibalism, because they were cannibals. Like, so we're the only culture in the world that had cannibalism. Is that what you're trying to say, in a way? But yeah, I mean, even more to the point, alcohol. What a great Australian pastime, alcohol. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. To me, alcohol will cause bowel cancer. Alcohol causes diabetes. Alcohol. It is so potent. Why did the government keep it as so? So you could control the people. Even in this time where we all stay home, like the bottle is still open now, for Christ's sake. Is that an essential thing we need? No. What alcohol has done to my people and to everybody in the world, every colonized country in the world, the alcohol was, it's a culture destroyer, culture killer. See, going back to the point, I'm not a scientist, but because a certain amount of time in London, in Europe, they had alcohol, right? They had alcohol for 400 to 500 years more than what we have now. So I suppose it gives you some vitamin deficiencies, but also it gives you some, what's the word I'm looking for? It gives you some resistance of alcohol. So, like you say, I'm right with just having a few, just one or two. Black fellas, they just want to have more and more and more. Once they get a hit, want more and more and more. I'm not saying it's true for all Australians, white people, that, yeah, yeah, they could stop at any time, but they had practiced enough with alcoholism to know to stop. Um, what else is there? Yeah, so no, yeah, that's politics and whatever I say about Aboriginality and native rights, not rights. Right? This is what people don't understand. When we say equal rights, we don't want more rights. We want equal rights. You know. Yeah. I mean, what can I do? I can only try to persuade you into being a better human being, you know, and it's all up to everybody who's listening. Okay. Okay, last thing today. Today we are going to talk about people of history. Yesterday we had Malcolm X and got on a bit about Martin Luther King Jr. So today we're going to do about Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah, he was born January 15th, 1927. I couldn't get where the location was born, but, and he was assassinated April 4th, 1968. Get in more detail about that. He was born Michael Luther King Jr., later changed his name to Martin. At age 35, he became the youngest ever man to win the Nobel Peace Prize. At the age of 35. Can you imagine that? I don't know what the stats are now about the youngest. Yeah, yeah. So, at the end of his life, on the top of a balcony of a hotel in Memphis, Tennessee. Now the story is that he got shot and he got killed on that balcony. No. He died in hospital. The shooter was the best marksman the police department could have ever had. The best marksman they got to murder him, right? Because think about it. Why, like, just what I was saying about yesterday about loving it up, about non-violence and violence. Yeah, Martin Luther King didn't use violence to get a point across, but yet he watched, men, women, children get beaten and they didn't fight back. Even being a Christian minister, his father and his grandfather, both ministers and Baptists, they still got shot for it. What for? Because of the colour of his skin. Imagine that, because of the colour of your skin. More to the point, the fact that he died in hospital. It's kind of hard for me to say, talk about, because it's woeful, it's evil, it's unhumane, right? He ended up in the Memphis hospital. The main doctor asked the nurses and everybody who was treating him, trying to keep him alive, like getting bullet out of him and stop internal bleeding and all that, and they asked the nurses to leave him at that time where he needed help the most. And as a witness of the nurse at the time, that she was the last one out. The only thing she heard was, the only thing she heard was muffling, was She turned around and was suffocating with the pillow. This is Martin Luther King Jr. He was suffocated in hospital. He didn't die at the scene in a motel room. In the motel room. He was suffocated in the Memphis hospital by officials. The best marksman couldn't kill him, so they pretty much fucking suffocated him while he was pretty much really dying anyways. It's like, how cruel do you have to, what's the mentality, what's that silly mentality you have? That's just silly to do, it's just out there, wow. would you want to try and kill someone who's trying to just have equal civil rights, just have rights, you know, like, yeah, but, yeah, so, Martin Luther King, good on you. Did not matter if you're a Christian minister, did not matter if you're a Malcolm X, a Muslim leader, did not matter, only that they will fight for the same things, but in different ways. The funny thing is, they only met once in Washington at a speech for civil rights. That was the only time they had met. And I mean, I suppose there would have been a bit of tension, that the fact that Malcolm X felt Martin Luther King was laying down for the white man, was laying down for these evil men who call themselves human, you know. Yeah, so that is it for today. Please leave some comments and just subscribe, and tomorrow I don't know, I will make one tomorrow for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you. This is Boyd's Co and Star, Boyd Star and Co. Have a great one.